guys, welcome back to my book channel. So today we're going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite authors. I read this book in high school and then again in college. So yeah, we're going to be talking about The Handmaid's Tale. So the author, her name is Margaret Atwood. So far I've read about probably 5 books of hers, and I just got another one that I'm excited to read. So it's this one. It's called The Edible Woman. So eventually I'll read that. So yeah, so the thing that I love about her is that she writes a lot of dystopian novels, and for a lot of you guys, or some of you guys that might not know, dystopian novels are basically how the world would end, and she would just kind of talk about that, the possibilities of how the world would end. So this one basically talks about the main character. Her name's Offred, but her real name is June. So basically the world is ending. Kind of said that. Yeah, it's kind of ending, and so the birth rate is declining because of the health of overall the pollution. You know how we don't care about the world and stuff. For all y'all that litter, y'all suck. So yeah, overall pollution, birth rates going down, so the government is taking initiative in this, and just they go ham. They're all right, so all women's rights are completely taken out. You guys got no rights. So I mean, we're not that far off right now, but I mean it was worse. All right, so women couldn't have jobs anymore. All your money went to your boyfriend or your husband, or if you didn't have a man, then your account was just frozen. It's frozen. And before I even keep going, I was I'm gonna make a tank, so an origami tank. So yeah, so while that was going on, Offred had her husband. Now, because they had a child, and she had to leave the country. So this is based in the United States. If this was ever to happen, it was in the United States. So she was trying to flee the country, a lot of other women, and eventually she got caught up, and she ended up being taken to the Red Center. So the Red Center is basically where all women are trained to be handmaids. So handmaids are basically women that are able to reproduce. So once a month they would be they'd be raped basically by the commander. So the commander is basically in a household with the wife, and they just hope to conceive a child. That's basically it. And for the handmaids, they're basically forced into it, because that's how the government is, and the government there is it's called the Republic of Gilead. So they just go through this whole ceremony. That's what they call it. They call it a ceremony. So every time they do this, they hope to conceive a child, and then when that happens, the wife is basically in charge of the child. So the handmaid just gives birth to the child, and that's it. It's their kid. So yeah, they basically just get a free kid. And then from there, their reward is basically not being sent to the colonies. Now the colonies is where all the unwomen are at. So the unwomen are the people that are, the women that are not able to have children, and they're just worthless because they're not able to reproduce, which is stupid. Or if you're educated too. Educated females, those that go for feminist movements and stuff, they'll be sent there too. And at the Red Centers too, they would show videos of pornos and educational women, and how that would educated women, and how they're not worthy, and how you shouldn't be like that and shouldn't strive for that. So yeah, at the Red Center, Offred knew other women from before the government took over, Gilead took over. And her name was Janine, and the other one was Mora. Now Janine, she was a little rebel and stuff, and low-key Offred didn't really vibe with her, just because she was able, she was a rebel at first, but then there's ants. So the ants are the ones who basically are in charge of the Red Center. So they're the ones that are like training these women to like believe and brainwash them into thinking like you have no rights. Like, we need a man to tell us like what to do, because if not, we'd be lost. And like a lot of women, like, they had to believe that if not, like, they would have been like killed initially, like, and they would put them on this wall. So yeah, like, you gotta read that. Like, it's crazy. Like, this book is really good when it comes to like details and stuff. Like, it's really good. So anyways, so yeah, she meets Janine, and Janine is one of the first ones to be like pregnant and stuff, and she like experiences that, and it's insane. Like, it's crazy. And then on top of that, with Mora always wanted to like escape. Like, in her mind, like, she always wanted to escape and it was gonna happen. And Offred like strived to be like her, but she couldn't, because she was scared of the repercussions and like just punishments and like all that stuff. So she didn't end up doing it. And then eventually Mora escaped, even though like in the surface like she looked like a true believer, but that's just like how she was able to like get away with, you know, being a little rebellious, and like how she was able to like finally like escape. She had to show others that she was a true believer, and she was gay, so that if they found out if you were gay over there too, that's it. Like, you're dead. So yeah, so that happened. And then eventually Offred, she gets really close with the commander. He would invite her into his office and stuff, even though that was like a big no-no. Like, you're not allowed to do that. But at the same time, she was like to decline like the offer. That also looked bad. So she went, and like eventually they made like a really good bond together. Apparently, like, because she kind of had to. She would hang out with the commander, and he would like let her read, and that's something that was also like a big no-no. And yeah, like, they did that together, and on top of that, they kind of just like had a connection, and he ended up like taking her to this place. It's like a nightclub, and this was like completely forbidden. Like, this could never happen. Like, people would not believe that it would happen if you were to tell like anybody. So like, it's like a nightclub, and that is where she finds Mora. And then she's like, what are you doing here? I thought you escaped. And Mora just basically says, is like, yeah, I did, but she eventually got caught. And they ended up sending her there, which she ends up being like a hooker. And Offred's like kind of like just torn, because like all hope that she had of like escaping and all that stuff like went away. She's like, not even like this girl could get out. And we all thought she did. Like, all hope was gone. Like, she was still hoping that she could find like her husband, because he ended up like leaving because he was able to escape, or either he got killed or he was able to escape. Because when they finally took her kid away from her, she like, he was still alive, and they had like guns blazing like towards him, so she never knew if he was alive or not. And her daughter was just ripped out of her hands. It's crazy. Like, these people are crazy. And overall, the whole lifestyle that she had with like the household was pretty bad, because like the wife just wanted to have a kid so bad, and like Offred couldn't get pregnant because her husband was sterile. So she's like, you know, there's like other people in the household, and that's like when the eye and the guardians come in. So like, they're the ones that like oversee everybody and what they're not and what they are supposed to do. Like, they'll snitch on you. Like, those are the snitches. And so they end up just telling her, like, you know, like, you can like mess with this guy and you could get pregnant, and I'll be happy and all that stuff, and then you'll never be sent to the colonies. So like, that's basically how like it kind of ends, because then it talks about the historical context of the video, and of the book, because they also have a Hulu like series, and it's super good. You should watch it. It's good. But the book is really good too. But they did a really good job at the series. So yeah, and they just talk about how like they pitched this idea to the government, and they're like, okay, that's fine, we're gonna go with it. So yeah, overall, really good book. Highly recommend to read this book. She's a great author. Okay, so this is how the tank came out. I know the lighting is like horrible. Oh my god. No, the lighting is like horrible, but yeah, you get the gist of it. So if you like this video, you know, like, subscribe, and then I'll see you next month. Bye.